LinkedIn requires videos of this length to be split into 2 videos. This is actually part 2 of this video. If you haven't yet watched part 1, go look for it. You'll find it posted just before this one. The second step is I have to believe that I can make the change, because if I don't believe that I can, I'm not going to put forth the work or the effort to do so. And then part of the belief is that that work or effort is going to be worth the effort. So by putting in the work and the effort to make the change, it's going to give me the outcome that I want, or the happiness that I want. So the desire has to be strong enough, and the belief has to be strong enough in order to do the next step, which is put in the work to make the change. Now, sometimes we may not know what to replace the behavior with, and so we may need to seek out knowledge or information from other people, mentors, coaches, parents, friends, or it could be the internet or books. But we seek out information to help us come up with new ideas, new behaviors, with the goal of getting us what we want, which is to be happy. After we find that new information, then we make a decision and we decide that we're going to try this. And we try it, and then we pay attention to the results. So we want to look at cause and effect. So when I did this, did it really give me the result that I wanted? And in looking at results, we want to look at long-term results, because sometimes when we're not paying attention, we get a short-term immediate result or immediate consequence that seems to give us what we want. We get that short spurt or feeling of happiness, but then long-term it gives us more of what we don't want, the unhappiness. And so we need to pay attention. We need to try to stay off of autopilot, be in our conscious mind. We consciously make or follow through with a choice and behave in a different way. If it gives us the outcome that we want, then we want to repeat that behavior. If it doesn't give us the outcome that we want, then we go back to seeking knowledge or information. We come up with something, a new idea, and then we try that. Once we find a new behavior that works, that gives us the outcome that we want, then we just want to repeat that behavior over and over and over and over until it moves in to the subconscious. So here's one thing to remember. Anytime that we are trying to be or do something different than what we do, for example, when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, or maybe you don't need an alarm clock, maybe your eyes just open up and you automatically just get out of bed. That's because that is part of who you are. Maybe when you bump into somebody, if you're walking through the street or through a crowd, you just automatically say, "Excuse me," or "I'm sorry." You don't have to consciously think about it, because that behavior has become part of who you are. So the way to make a change or change a behavior for good so that it stays there is it needs to become part of who you are. Anytime we're still trying to make a change, we haven't made that change or in that behavior for good, because it's still not who we are. Once it moves into the subconscious to where we no longer have to consciously think about it, now we know that change in behavior is for good. Unless we find ourselves in a situation where we want to change it again, then we can go through this process and change it again. But as long as it's working, as long as it's moved into the subconscious part of our brain, it's become part of who we are, then that's just what we do. Thanks for watching today. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about changing behavior and what works and what doesn't work for you. So go ahead and comment below. And if you'd like to know more about who we are and what we do, visit our website at principlebasedliving.com. You'll see it listed below as well.